So today we have Vinny Whelan of Spiritual Ceremonies. Vinny, you've just driven 2.5 hours to be here.
Yeah.
I honestly can't say thank you enough.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Delighted to be here, to be honest.
Great, that's good. It was worth the
Even
drive
after
then.
the 2.5 hours,
Even
yeah,
after the drive. Exactly. Because I know that this was, when it comes to ceremonies and, you know, your celebrant, and I really like, when we were thinking, right, who are we getting in to talk to? Both of us went, Vinny. Together. And we were like, we'll get Vinny. Reason is, I remember the first time we came across you, and that's right, we were up in the country, and it was like, I remember, because at the beginning you're quite strong and quite vocal, and the first thing we were thinking, like, who's your man?
Yeah.
And then, this is going to sound silly to people, but you did something that the two of us are still going, can't believe he did that. You moved a chair. I know that
most
sounds
physical work
ridiculous.
I do all day, you know.
No, but it's so true though, because it was like, in that moment I realised this guy is thinking of the entire picture.
Yeah.
He's facilitating not just himself, but the entire room. Everybody.
To me it's prioritising other people in a sense. It's considering photographers, it's considering videographers, it's considering bride and groom, and even guests getting they might be down the back, but at least they can still see what's happening. They can see certain things. Celebrant step to the side, not be in certain positions that they don't need to be in, blocking cameras. Having a vision of, if this is my day and I want a photographer to get a perfect photograph, do I want a celebrant in it? Do I want, just to have a better idea, or do I want a chair in there?
Yeah.
Or should I be moved?
But it was just one of those moments, because a lot of time, you have the groomsmen prepped and they're like, right, for those big vows moments, you're going to move a chair that side and that side, or we grab one each. Because she spent ages shopping for this dress, and it's got this beautiful train in it, and you want it to be showed off in these big moments. But you were the first person who was a celebrant who actually did this, and it was so silly. But the two of us were just like, oh, he's the man.
Did you get it on picture? Did you get a photograph?
We need to start this video with a clip of you moving some furniture.
No,
but it was great though, and I know, like, and from then on, then we've had a few more, and you just impressed us every time, because it was the delivery, and
we've had indoor and outdoor ceremonies together. We've experienced very good weather in the outdoor ceremonies.
It was a bit hot for all of us.
Probably too hot, and I somehow wore a black
glistening. It was a great look.
I'm not optimistic enough to put on sun cream, So
I think we all got really sunburned that day. But I think, all right, so this subject is a subject that, when it comes to celebrants and it comes to different types of ceremonies, the confusion out there is epic, isn't it?
There is confusion. Yeah. A lot more people are a lot more educated than what they used to be.
Okay.
Like, I started in 2013.
Okay.
And it was unheard of.
Well, this is it, because it's just taken off, hasn't it, in the last few years?
Keeps going and going, but people have a lot more knowledge on what they can have in terms of, if you're not having a church ceremony, where do you go? Yeah. Because everyone knew they were going to a priest. They're going to
you were having that religious ceremony. Yeah.
And then from there, it's opened up a lot more. But even at that, you've more and more options than you probably should have, in a sense.
It's the same with everything in the world, though. When something comes in, the choice becomes vast, doesn't it? Yeah. And I think the thing, and this he laughs at me, because Benny laughs at me, because this confuses me sometimes. Yeah. And it's the terminology that goes along with it. So you work with spiritual ceremonies, but within that, then you are a registered Solemnizer, and then you're an officiant of the spiritual union. Am I saying this right, Vinny? Please say I'm getting this right. So, okay.
The organisation is the Spiritual Union of Ireland, and they're the religious body. Okay. From them, we're licensed, thanks to the HSE, to get our license to perform a legally binding ceremony.
And I think that's the key part. Yeah. That when you're a Solemnizer, it's legally binding. Yeah, okay.
Which allows you to perform legally binding ceremonies 7 days of the week in almost any venue in Ireland. Okay. Now, from there came spiritual ceremonies from the Spiritual Union of Ireland. So spiritual ceremonies come into that. Now, the most common term for everybody is a celebrant.
Yes.
And I class myself as a celebrant.
Yeah.
However, if you really, really come down to it, a celebrant can't legally marry.
But this is the important part.
Yeah.
I think this is the part
Yeah.
that confuses me, because you might go abroad, or you may be coming to Ireland to get married and you've booked your celebrant.
You Google Celebrant.
And it comes up, but it might not be somebody that can legally marry you in that moment, and then you either have to go away before or after, I suppose. It doesn't really
might
matter.
have to go to the HSE and have your ceremony and in the registry office, and then have whatever ceremony you want in the venue of your choice, or as you said, have a ceremony of some sort, and then in time
actually make it legal.
And that can work for some people. Some people think that there's too much hustle and bustle out of the one big day.
Okay.
That this might take a bit of, not the gloss off it, but it might take a bit of the pressure off it.
Something they can do themselves.
And get that legal part done, because they see it as, this is legal, you know? It's probably too formal.
Okay.
So if you get that out of the way, well, then you can have it out and be a bit more relaxed arriving into your ceremony. Okay. However, to me, it all needs to be done under the one roof, on the one day, at the one time, and you become husband and wife, or husband and husband, and wife, and head back down that aisle, married. Yeah,
but I think that's very important. That's a question people need to know to ask, because I think it's an assumption people make that if I book a celebrant, the celebrant's going to marry me legally. Yeah. But it's not always the case.
It's not always the case, and so that's why the word legally binding has to be the first, it's not celebrant, it's if I want a legally binding ceremony in the venue of my choice, on the day of my choice, and become married there and then, I need to know that they're legally binding.
Okay. So I think the biggest hint and tip we're gonna, out of this entire, and we're gonna talk for a long time. There's loads more.
We're here all day.
But we're here all day. But I think the most important question for people is are you a Solemnizer?
Yes.
And is it legally binding? Yes. That's so important, because
so from there, then you have a couple of organisations, and then within them organisations, you have the main two, in my opinion, and then you have celebrants, which are all independent. Yeah. And then they come in where people have already either gotten married or are planning to get married in time and want a ceremony of some sort. But a lot of the time, the confusion comes into it, because the term, like I said, I class myself as a celebrant, because it's the most common term.
Nobody uses Solemnizer as a general term. I don't think I've ever spoke to somebody and used it.
I think.
Yeah, I know it is, but it's kind of I don't use it as a general. I always say, "Who's your celebrant?" Yeah,
nobody
just rolls.
Yeah, everyone the term is celebrant.
Okay.
But from there, then it might come panic station. So they've paid a deposit on this certain person. Yeah, they're under the influence that they're.
You don't want to hear a couple of weeks beforehand. Oh, by the way,
well,
you do realise they won't be legally.
When they go to register intent of marriage, and the HSE say, "Okay, well, who's your celebrant?" Yeah, and they give the name, and they're not on the list.
I'd be horrified.
That would be horrified. Latest 3 months before. 3 months before your wedding, you would find that out, or latest.
Yeah, and at that point, then you could be a little bit. Yeah, well, there's the whole thing of losing deposit. You get over that, but then you have to find someone if it means that much to you to be
or
there. Or you go along the other lines, but I think it's important that you don't end up in that situation.
Because in the meantime, you've already had your head around, well, these can marry me.
Yeah, and you've told all your guests and the family members that are still very new to this whole concept of, we're not having a religious ceremony, but it's legally binding, and we're actually getting married.
All of a sudden you have 2 ceremonies. Yeah. And you're inviting 4 or 5 people to this because you need 2 witnesses. And you're inviting 100 to here, but you're getting married here.
Yeah, and so it's a little bit, the family then just get royally confused, to be honest. Especially the grandparents. They're like, what's happening?
Look at you with your 2 ceremonies,
Yeah. Who do you think you are? You were just dragging this out. You were just dragging this out. Any excuse for a party.
But then that also means that you're expecting your partner to remember 2 anniversaries.
Oh, you really know we're going into a whole other conversation now, to be honest.
So,
and then I suppose that's the Solemnizer side of thing, and then you're an officiant with spiritual ceremonies. Yeah, and I think with and the
Spiritual Union of Ireland. So the Spiritual Union of Ireland is a legal is a religious body.
Okay, but spiritual ceremonies then is you've got your own kind of beliefs, I suppose. Does that make sense?
We work off the Spiritual Union of Ireland beliefs. Okay,
perfect. Because I think when it comes to you've decided you're having a celebrant. We'll use this word celebrant just for ease.
I've been called worse.
and then you get thrown all these words like humanist, spiritual, and you're kind of going, well, what?
And my belief mightn't match either of them.
Exactly.
And do I have to believe in spiritualism to have a spiritual ceremony.
Yeah.
Do I have to believe in humanism to have a humanist ceremony?
And how hairy-fairy is it going to be in the moment?
Is Vinny going to bring in spirits into our ceremony?
That's it. He's going to be chanting and dancing around the trees. Yeah. No, but like people that these words are so kind of, they're still alien to
now
people.
It's a lot more of a people are a lot more educated in terms of a spiritual ceremony and a human ceremony and all of that type of thing.
Okay.
But back 2013 when I was going to wedding fairs and our signage is up of spiritual ceremonies and people are like,
they're that bad lot over there. Look, turn around. They'll only want to talk to us. Yeah.
It is great that people really know more about what they want from their ceremony now. They really do. They're a lot more educated in a way. But that comes down to hard work from that organisation. It comes down to arriving to wedding fairs, educating people, and not just educating yourselves also in a way.
That's it. I think I'm still learning. I'm still picking things up every day.
Probably leave here and still won't have a clue, you know.
What was he saying? Betty, take notes. Take notes. And I suppose with the spiritual ceremonies, the spiritual union, what are the core beliefs? What are the
core beliefs? Are we believe in the communication with spirit. We believe in a higher being.
Okay.
And we believe in life after death.
Okay. That's nice. I didn't know that. I never asked someone that question. I think I was afraid to ask the question.
We have a sanctuary that we practice spiritualism in. We demonstrate mediumship.
Because you are like a big community, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Big, but at the same time, nice and small at the same time too.
You're a select few.
Like a family as such. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
And then from there, then you would you'd have the sanctuary every Sunday.
Okay.
And you go and you can. It's an open door for anybody.
Everyone's welcome.
Everybody.
Okay, I like that.
And you can go in and you can watch people giving inspirational speeches, and you can also watch people demonstrating mediumship. It might be new to you.
But it's experience as well, though.
Just slightly dealt with a death. You're trying to get your head around. They're not gone. Where are they? Yeah,
you've that feeling that they're still.
Absolutely. And then you find yourself sitting in the sanctuary and. It's hard to explain. Okay. But it's a special place.
It's an experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. But because you touched on it a minute ago, if you want yourself to marry or perform the marriage for the couple, you don't have to have the same beliefs, or what do you encourage?
The couple don't need to have the same beliefs whatsoever. They can have any belief or no belief. Yeah. They can be of different religions altogether. Okay. We are open to all religions, all beliefs.
I think it's important for people to know as well that they feel like they're, it's okay to book.
I'm not going with spiritual ceremonies
because I don't believe in what they believe. Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's fine. Because we don't have hidden agendas to think, brilliant, you're going to bring 100 people to us and during your ceremony we're going to try and convert you all.
We're going to recruit you all. Yeah.
We don't do that, you know. But because we don't put beliefs on anybody, we don't open our ceremony with what spiritualism is.
Yes. You're not preaching to people.
We don't. Yeah. We open the ceremony about the couple. Okay. And every single bit of it is about the couple. So if they have a belief and they want to incorporate that belief into the ceremony, we take that on board. If they don't want any religious elements whatsoever, any religious anything, we want as plain and simple and as traditional as possible, well then that's what we do.
And if they did want to bring some of their own religion in some sense, in the form of a reading or something, that's okay, is it?
Can be done we've done Chinese tea ceremonies. We've done many a different.
We saw African tasting once. Yeah, that was interesting.
So we can incorporate literally whoever's beliefs into the ceremony if they want.
So it's tailoring it to their personalities and their purpose.
And it might be their beliefs, but it might be Mum's beliefs, or it might be Dad's beliefs, or it might be Nan's beliefs.
Yeah, you've talked the parents into like this is how we're doing it. Yeah. But we're going to throw you a bone in some way, and we're going to but it's true though, because you're pleasing the masses.
Absolutely,
and who's important to you.
When people say to you now, when people are saying to you, "I'm getting married," people say to you, "Now listen, it's not about anybody else. Don't mind anyone else. It's about you too," and that's.
Yeah, but that
in a way it's not.
I know. In a perfect world, there would be no like little whispers in your ears. Yeah. You're pleasing the people closest to you in a sense.
And you have to also, like, rather than say, right, ma'am, look, you don't believe in us not getting married in a church and you're not happy with it, sit there and say nothing.
I
You
remember,
can't do
yeah,
that, you know.
because we had a civil ceremony, and I remember my grandfather was the only one that was just royally confused over this when he was still here, and for months after the wedding, he kept coming to us saying, "So when are you really getting married? Like when?" No, but he was so sincere about it. He just and he really enjoyed the ceremony, and he said it was beautiful, and he thought it was a great day, but he just couldn't get his head around. Like, so when will there be a religious aspect to it? When will there be a priest? Like, can there even be a nun? Like,
I was in a venue not so long ago, actually, and I was introduced for the first time to the bridesman.
Okay.
And she was on her way into the venue, and the best man introduced myself, and this is Vinny, and he's going to be performing the ceremony.
Yeah.
And the man looked me up and down, and she looked me up and down again, and she was like, "Where's your gown?"
Where's your gown? You're very left in the car. Yeah.
Where's your gown? She expected me to be a priest.
Okay.
And like that's fine.
Yeah.
Because again, a lot of it comes down to education.
And if you weren't kind of informed about what was happening beforehand,
it
is a little bit.
Gown,
yeah.
You know.
Oh, be careful now! You will get some requests.
Yeah.
You'll get some requests. I'm going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Vinny will wear anything you want as well if you book them. Yeah, exactly. So I suppose if we go into the ceremony itself, and I think the nice way to approach this would be for someone who hasn't experienced it before, someone who's never been to a spiritual ceremony or has never kind of sat as a guest or being involved in a wedding and just hasn't a clue what's going to happen. Like, what is this all about?
Sometimes
how does it run? Do you?
If I'm being honest, because a lot of the time guests will attend ceremonies and they're engaged.
Yes.
Right? And they think, right, we have to pay a bit more attention now because we're going to try and get tips.
This might be something we'd like, yeah.
We're 50-50 at the moment. Let's attend this ceremony and see how it works.
Okay.
But that ceremony isn't about them as the couple.
Yeah.
That ceremony is about a completely different couple.
Yeah.
So the music might match them. The readings might match them.
Yeah.
The religious elements or the lack of might match them. And so the ceremony should be unique. So I always say to couples, sometimes don't try and judge your ceremony or your potential ceremony to be the same as somebody else's, because it should always be completely different. Every single one of them should be unique.
I think that's why I enjoy them so much as well, though, because every time you go in, it is something new.
It is slightly different. And you might do every single thing the exact same, but the people are involved and the music they walk up the aisle.
It's the reactions and the atmosphere of the room, and even the venue can be like indoor, outdoor. It can really change the mood of the whole setting. But I suppose for kind of more of a running of the ceremony, just to kind of give people an idea of like what's available and all those bits and pieces. Like, I know that you like to speak to the guests before the bride or groom were to walk up the aisle or whatever way they're doing
it. Certain times, in my opinion, where not guests need to be addressed, but they do need to
housekeeping.
Benny,
a bit of housekeeping.
And you'd appreciate that a lot.
Lots of housekeeping.
It has to be, because again, this is new to everybody or a lot of people.
But not everyone does this. A lot of the time, the ceremony just starts.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice that you do communicate to the guests.
My approach comes from my experience of how I'd like it to be.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's
all thinking about the couple, though.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
And every single thing about it is thinking, right, well, what would if I was looking at my wife to be walking up that aisle again, how would I want to see that moment? Do I want phones everywhere? Do I want my uncle's new iPad that he only got and he's still learning
Someone's just standing in the middle of the aisle getting a good angle. Yeah, it's true though.
And like, I try and position every groom or every one of each, depending on what way they're walking
Whichever
up.
Partner,
to be looking down the aisle.
Okay.
When their partner to be, or their bride or
so they get to witness that full moment. Yeah.
But the last thing they need is to be looking by a phone or a camera or an iPad. So.
And even if it's just for those few seconds, it doesn't have to be the whole ceremony.
No,
it's just that walk, isn't it? It's
Unplugged ceremonies, they're a thing.
Yeah.
Do they properly work? I don't know.
I don't think everyone ever
Unless you
it's really funny. I've great photos of like these lovely posters that has unplugged ceremony and a lovely sign, and then it's got the bride and groom walking up the aisle, and it's just phones. And it's actually like it's a laughable kind of scene because you're like, well, there was the notice, and there you are with your phone. Exactly. But it's true though.
So it is. It's trying to address the certain moments, in my opinion, that need to be 100% perfect. because they're only done once.
Yeah.
You can't redo, okay, let's do it again. Will you walk up the aisle
We always
again?
say that to couples as well, like, you know, if you're not doing an upload or you're not going to communicate to people, that if someone does something random, like steps right out into the aisle and doesn't move, it's the only moment in the entire day I can do nothing about it. We can't go, sorry, stop, wait, redo it. It happens, and whatever happens.
So you have to kind of prepare yourself for that.
Okay.
In case that does happen.
Yeah, that's right.
And it might come across slightly bossy. It might come across again.
But
I'm only
you're
into
almost
this.
apologetic in a sense, though. Like you put it out there, and you kind of say sorry now for being like, I do apologise, but
however,
I feel quite strong about this. Yeah,
absolutely,
which
because
is
I've huge respect for what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
In terms of the ceremony, I've huge respect for the couple.
Yeah.
To make sure that, because like they pick their bridesmaids for certain reasons. They pick groomsmen for certain reasons. They pick a sister that might be a bridesmaid that is going, right, will you look after certain things? And there's always stuff that's missed.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
If there's somebody else there that has the same appreciation for what's going to happen, and you're able to go, okay, well look, there's a certain moment in time where I need you to just keep your phone away from here, please.
You've got their back then, in a sense.
And many times we've been at a funeral and someone's phone has gone off. And we all either throw a dagger at them or they ignore their phone because they don't want to be seen as the person with their phone going off.
It's not mine. It's definitely not mine. And then it goes off the second time and you're like, oh, I really have to stop that now.
My mum, the phone would ring, she'd pull the phone out, she'd then put her glasses on, so there's a preparation to answer that phone, and it's ringing, you know.
After she's rumbled through the giant handbag. And
it's the worst ringtone in the world. And
I know.
So when a couple are about to exchange their rings or their vows, the last thing they need is a
and now everybody was looking at them, but now they've all looked the complete opposite direction.
Bride and groom and all.
Everyone. And it's kind of like you almost have to pause and wait. Are you finished? Are you done? It's sorted.
And it's not done on purpose. Nobody goes, I'm going to leave my phone on. No. You know, but at the same time.
But you've just reminded them, you know, this would be an appropriate thing to do, would be to at least put it on silent.
I'm apologetic in it because at the same time I don't want to be known as the bossy celebrant.
Bossy Vinny.
But at the same and I am. But like at the same time, that couple at the end of the day are more than happy with the way things were done and the way things were ran, and they know it was 110% in my opinion. It might have been 90% in somebody else's, but in my opinion it was 110%. And that's my job done leaving there.
And it's a nice way if you introduce yourself as well.
The bossy celebrant.
But no, but in any sense. But like otherwise, you know, it's kind of like music starts, they all walk up the aisle, and then this person is speaking for 30 minutes. But sometimes the celibate might not even give their name.
Who's he? What's his name? What's he doing?
Yeah, exactly. But it's nice to kind of introduce you, say, okay, for the next 30, 40 minutes, this is me. Yeah. And this is what's going to happen. I like that. Yeah.
I do. I introduce myself every single time. I think it's important to be able to let people know.
Yeah. Well, if you were to say hi to someone, you're not going to like shake their hand and sit there
go,
silent. All right.
Turn off your phone.
Guess. Guess my name. Guess my job. What do I do?
Yeah. It's trying to allow, because again, it's new to people. Yeah. So when they arrive and they're arriving to a venue. Yeah. And again, they're not in a church, they're not here, they're not there.
And chances are they've never been to that venue as well. It's all new. Everything is new.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, okay, so you mean there's somebody going to be performing your ceremony now. Who are they? What are they doing?
Yeah.
And introduction.
Yeah.
Housekeeping.
Yeah.
Person walks up the aisle.
Exactly.
You know?
And then I know, like, because people always ask people to, like, guests or family members to kind of be involved in the ceremony. It can be something as simple as, you know, reading a couple of lines of a poem or a full reading. And, like, but you respect the fact that this is quite nerve-wracking for these people. Do you know?
I worked that out kind of the hard way.
Yeah.
I took on I eventually became a celebrant.
Okay.
Without thinking public speaking for some stupid reason.
He was going to mime.
Yeah. The silent celebrant, you know.
The bossy celebrant, the silent celebrant, yeah.
And then I worked out that I have to publicly speak, and I was the least person in the world to publicly speak.
It was only when we found yourself standing at the top of the room and you're about to open your mouth and go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Everyone's now looking at me. Yeah.
And listening.
And they're judging.
And then from there, then I was in the most, not uncomfortable position, but it was just, it's just somewhere that I didn't.
Yeah. You felt like you needed to improve on
Straight away.
Yeah.
So from there, then it's it's approaching it that, to me, it's important for people to involve people within their ceremony.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be about the couple again.
Yeah.
And whether that be mums, whether that be mums and dads, whether that be brothers and
I
sisters.
think it makes it a
doing
bit more
readings and-
special though, isn't it? Yeah.
It means it's people who mean stuff to them
Yeah.
being involved.
Yeah.
And then that means it's a personal ceremony to them because family members are involved.
Yeah.
And then from there, then not every family member has somebody that will talk for Ireland,
that's
or
true.
that will stand up in front of 200 people and
Yeah.
we don't care who's looking or listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's given appreciation to have an understanding that, again, they're publicly speaking and we have a fear of it.
We do.
We have a fear of
we
public
do.
speaking.
But and even if you're comfortable speaking, it's those first few words. I even find when I start these, it's like the first thing I say is the hardest part of it because you just need to get yourself in that motion, don't you? But once you're in it,
it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's the fear. It's the anticipation, isn't
and
it?
it can
yeah.
be, you know. So that's why it's even. I always ask a couple to prepare their readers, give them notice, give them the reading, allow them to read over it a couple of times, and so that when they arrive on the day, what they're reading, they're a bit more familiar with.
Okay.
It's nothing too complicated. It's straightforward. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's meaningful to more than just a couple. And
you can read anything. Like I've
anything.
heard lyrics of the most like obscure
my
songs.
favorite was always wear sunscreen.
They didn't. That is brilliant. I've never heard that in the
So
really.
they stripped it back, took the lyrics, invited up 6 people,
That is
gave them a verse each, and if you actually read the lyrics,
but they're amazing lyrics. But like
they work with everybody.
Yeah.
And people are not laughing, but they're having fun. They're enjoying it. They can relate to the lyrics.
And I suppose you're probably there for a minute going, is that actually that song? Are they actually
Yeah,
reciting that song? Because you're speaking it rather than singing
amazing.
it. Yeah, because I've heard like heavy metal lyrics coming out and everything, and to half the people in the room, they're like, they were lovely words, weren't they? I wonder who wrote that.
Yeah.
What poet was that?
Metallica.
Yeah, exactly. No, but a lot of the time it is.
Yeah.
And if you're a rock couple, like you've just brought that into your ceremony, but you've done it in such a nice kind of way to do it. It's lovely.
It is, but we've even had couples that when they're signing the legal documents, they've got guests or family members to sing Nothing Else Matters from Metallica, and I've had brides walk up the aisle to AC/DC Thunderstruck, and
and that's the nice thing as well. Your music has there's you can do anything you want when it comes to music.
Walk up the aisle to whatever you want.
Yeah.
Now
there are no rules. Wait, now is there?
Hang on, no,
okay.
genuinely isn't. I had a bride walk up the aisle to It's a Final Countdown by Europe.
Okay.
Because she wanted it.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm not going to go, no.
Yeah.
Because I'm not giving that person a restriction.
Yes. Yeah. You're facilitating.
I genuinely tell nobody no.
Okay.
Someone says to me, I want to do that.
Someone's going to come up with something
so
strange now. And you're
I
like,
genuinely will look forward to it. I honestly will. Like if the ring warming is going around and the rings end up being swapped with a hula hoop or a Haribo jelly. Or
don't give people ideas. There's people out there now going, that is brilliant.
Like
I'm doing that.
It's not about making a comedy show, but at the same time, if he's the joker of the pack and he does that and the groom gets it or the bride gets it or, you know.
But it doesn't have to, like, yes, there is a serious side of things because, yes, you were legally getting married and but it should be fun and it should be entertaining and you should enjoy the time.
I've full appreciation for it because we perform legally wine in ceremonies, so we have an understanding of the legal part of it and the legal elements and what you're entering into and what you're signing, and
you have to be serious for a moment and mean this kind of thing.
But at the same time, it should be as far away from that as possible, in my opinion.
But it's great though because everyone then is like kind of comes away like enlightened and entertained, and it's kind of like, that was great, you know, you're in a good mood and wasn't that lovely kind of thing. A bit of sleep. Exactly. And I suppose like outside of, so readings are one thing, and I know some people are just like, you could ask them to do a reading and they just kind of go, oh, please don't ask me. I don't think you should force anyone to do anything you're just not comfortable with. But the nice thing about like the type of ceremonies that you would perform is there's so many different elements to it. That it doesn't have to be, for someone to be involved, they don't have to speak.
No.
But that's the beauty of it, because
when a couple are getting married, the percentage of the times mums, the first thing they will say is, I don't want to be involved in your ceremony. Okay. And that's fine.
Yeah. Don't embarrass me.
Because again it comes back to, I might have to publicly speak. I might have to do something.
Because that's the first thing you think of to be involved in a ceremony. I must have to speak. But there's...
So then there's elements that you can bring mums in or dads in or brothers and sisters in or the kids in.
Yeah.
The good thing about kids is they don't really have the fear of public speaking. They don't mind performing. They don't mind... their confidence level is a lot higher
You
than
kind of
what.
give them a job. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
They love to
absolutely.
be given a
Give
job.
little
Give them
role.
a job.
Yeah,
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 they love
bring
it.
them in
Yeah,
They to be in their element.
yeah,
But yeah, now if you can bring people into, say, help tying the knot, play some ribbons,
yeah,
lighting candles,
yeah.
being up there, being part of it. I
Yeah.
think, yeah, absolutely. Bring people in. They don't
Yeah.
have to do a reading.
And we might
or-
actually just talk about a couple of different things that are, because some people haven't been to a ceremony and
Yeah.
they've never seen a sand pouring,
Yeah.
or they don't know what tying the knot is,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like even just something simple, like you've got your unity candles. Everyone's familiar with a unity candle because you're going to see them probably in every type of
Yeah.
ceremony you
Yeah.
go to. But the nice thing is like the moms or the dads or just a family member lighting those outer candles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And involving the mums, and there's a part in it that says that your mums gave you light by bringing you into this world, so it'd only be fitting that you continue to use this light.
It's lovely.
You know, and,
Yeah.
and it's really nice, and it does give them mums a sense of
Yeah.
wow.
And then
And
you're
it-
lighting your main candle from their light. Which
light.
is lovely. Yeah.
And also, the mum again might have her head around, why is this not in the church?
Yeah.
But if you're bringing her into the ceremony,
And this is the
this is
familiar-
an element that you will be familiar with,
Yeah.
it's a kind of, again, a bit of a nod to mum
Yeah.
and say, you know what, look, I fully appreciate you have your opinion
Yes.
and your beliefs and whatever,
Yeah.
but look, we still want you to be part of
Yeah,
our
and
most
that's lovely.
important day.
Yeah, I think it's lovely. It really is. And then because you mentioned kids with the sand pouring,
Yeah.
that's lovely. If you've got kids that their nieces and nephews are your own kids, especially if they're your own
Yeah,
kids.
well, see, this is the
And
thing.
yeah.
We don't rule out whose kids you can involve. It could be
Yeah.
grandchildren. It could be your godchildren. It could be you could be anybody.
Yeah.
That you involve within it. It could be your brother and his kids represent as a family, and then you involve. You know, so
Yeah.
Again, it's endless of who can be involved within a sand ceremony, but
Yeah.
what it is it's hard again to sit a couple down and their kids and say to them, look, we're getting married
Yeah.
and like we want you to sit there for 35 minutes and
Well, that's
do
it.
nothing.
Yeah. And so I've seen some kids get so emotional.
They can do.
Like, and it's kind of like they understand their parents are getting married, and they're it's just they're in
It's
pure
something
joy
changing,
and
it's
happiness.
something- yeah,
Isn't
there's
it though?
there's a bit
And
of everything.
I've just seen them break down, like completely break down in ceremonies in the most beautiful sense. But it's just like they can't hold it in anymore.
But
The
then
emotion just comes out.
If you take them after probably bawling their eyes out walking
Yeah.
up the aisle,
Yeah.
and they're sitting there and they're getting their head around things, and then all of a sudden you're saying, right, come on over.
We'll play with a bit of sand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And then they
say it to them
kind
that
of,
way,
and
you know?
it becomes a comfortable
If they
situation.
make a mess, they make a mess. If
Yeah,
they, you know,
yeah. Because I've seen you picking up little kids and you can't reach the table,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
or you're bringing the sand down to them to help them out.
bring it down to their level.
Yeah,
A lot of the time, you'll see photographs with myself with the family and the couple are up here.
Yeah.
I'm down here. I'm holding
I've
their
a
bags. The
few of
kids are
those.
down here.
Yeah, the
I'm
sand's
high-fiving
going
kids.
everywhere. Yeah,
It just
yeah,
you can get so much energy, so much positivity. You can get so much. You can learn an awful lot from kids. You know, you really can.
Yeah.
Even though we're meant to be the wiser ones.
yeah,
But you can, and if you involve them in a ceremony and make them feel
yeah.
that bit more important, you can feed
And
off
then
it.
and to have that afterwards, that like the whole idea
That
of
moment.
but you bring it home then as well. It's a physical
That's
object
yours, yeah.
that you've gotten all these grains of sand that are now like
And
the
yeah,
whole
if
idea
kid
is it can never
1.5 or
be. Yeah,
2, in time you can explain to them you have your photographs, but you also have that sand
Yeah.
there that you can go, remember, or
And
not
you
remember,
help
that
pour
was
this
you,
together.
You were pink or
Yeah.
you were yellow or absolutely.
Yeah, it's really nice. And one that I've actually probably only seen in the last 2 years, and it's kind of coming, the whole love letters and I've seen all sorts go in this box. I've seen bottles of whiskey.
Yeah.
I've seen naggins
Yeah.
because that's
Cans.
cans. There was a gluten-free Bailey's
Yeah.
once because she was
I had Schlor go in.
gluten-free.
I've had bottles of Blue Wicket go in.
Stop, are you serious?
Yeah. Genuinely.
Because the whole idea is you've written the letter to each other, and then you're putting it in this box with something that you'll sit together, a drink that you'll sit down together with, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so
Yeah.
your choice, not choices, but
Yeah.
the way it works is you'll put your bottle of whatever in. If you don't drink it all, you can put the price of a meal in, but it all goes into
Okay.
this wine box.
Yes.
And you will both write a love letter to each other,
Okay.
and you will seal your love letter in an envelope. Some people go, we're not doing that because they think again I have to read it out in the ceremony. No.
It's for after. Yeah.
So you put all of that in there, and then you can also add in your wedding invitation. You can add in today's newspaper. You can add in. There's loads of different things you can add in.
That's nice. Yeah.
And what happens is, you either if you've had an argument and it's gone that far that you just can't solve it between yourselves,
Okay.
that there's something there that you are able to open this wine box.
Okay.
And over your glass of wine or your glass of something, that you're able to sit down and actually read each other's letters.
Yeah.
And then hopefully bring you back to where you were in your relationship and where you should be.
Remind yourself of the emotions on that day.
And again, your wedding invitation might be in there too. If there's a little time capsule, there might be a little letter from your daughter or your son, or there might be a little something in there. And
some people have kind of like they've actually set a time that we're going to do this in 5 years, or we're going to do this in 10 years. You can set a time then, because fingers crossed you won't have that argument that it gets that far. Yes. Yeah.
So then you pick a wedding anniversary, 5th, 10th, 15th, 25th. Okay. You can open it then. Or some people open them every year. And put a new letter in for the next year.
Oh really?
Yeah,
that's nice. Okay, that's
really
proactive couples.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be that couple. no, sorry, Benny, not a hope.
Or me.
Maybe the ones, but that would be.
We also recommend it to be a full wooden box, because if there's the clear lid on the top, the bottle of wine is now looking at you.
Well, that's true. Actually, be like, do we have any wine?
Yeah.
It's over there in that box. Yeah. But no, and the box can be lovely because I've seen them engraved with their names and their dates.
Yeah,
and they're really lovely.
Now that set up, and you can actually they carve out even the shapes of champagne glasses. You can get your name engraved into it. You can get there's loads of different things that we don't do now. They are compared to the one I have.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to get a new one.
You need to get a new one. And then I suppose the hand tying one, because this is something that, like, I think the sand pouring and the hand tying are the two I see probably the most. Yeah. But I've seen the hand tying done in a few different ways, where it would just be, say, yourself tying the ribbons or whatever, a rope or whatever they're using together. But then I've also seen the bridal party add a ribbon each, again, or a family member.
I've seen the unity candle too many times. I don't want to come away from something different. Again, you can invite both mums up, or you can invite the dads up, or you can invite brothers and sisters. Or there's bridesmaids and groomsmen sitting there that you could bring in and
give involve
them. Yeah, absolutely. Again, make them feel somewhat involved rather than just put a suit on you and sit there, or and
you're usually saying a few words while they're kind of, or how does it work?
You set
or
the couple
music,
up.
Is it? Or
you set the couple up, and there's a couple of different ways you can do it. Then we always introduce what we're about to do. Yeah. So this is the tying of the knot. Explain it's the oldest tradition when it comes to marriage.
But that's one thing I found about when you do ceremonies, you do explain things as they're happening. It's not a given that every celebrant has that approach, and that's everyone has their own way of doing things. But the nice thing I've seen about you doing is when you're about to hand tying, you're explaining to the full room, this is where this came from. This is why we're doing it. This is the idea.
Your mum put a couple of ribbons on her hands, but we haven't a clue what he done.
That's it. Or the other side of things where you do think of, like, and we're back to moving the chair. You do think of where you position the couple, and where you position the people that are involved in this part of the ceremony. That it's not a case of you've just created this kind of circle.
Yeah.
Around the couple, and they're blocked off. Forget video, forget photo. Like anything. Yeah. The guests, they now can't see what's happening.
But even Nan can't see. Or
that's it, and it's important. You put this in your ceremony for people to witness. Yeah. Let them witness it. Is what I would say. Yeah. But you always think of these things, like every ceremony we've done together. You always have a nice way of you open it out to the guests. Yeah. So they can see what's happening. Yeah.
It's to the guests, absolutely. And at the same time, it's also to photographers, it's also to videographers, because again, as you said, if it's enclosed, and that might sound lovely. Yeah. Because, these mean something to us and we're all here together, and
a few people in the background.
What's going on?
What are they doing? Yeah.
So it's opened it up to, that could be the perfect photograph. It could be the perfect bit on a video. It could be, again, mums involved. Yeah. It does. It opens up to everybody. And
I know it probably seems like it's a given to you because this is what you do, but like, because I've witnessed so many ceremonies and everybody does it differently, but it's just something that stands out to me, that you are thinking of every aspect of every part of it. Yeah.
The script, I have my head around. Okay. In a sense,
you're comfortable with it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So from there, it's looking at other boxes that kind of.
Yeah. How can I improve here?
What can I make work for everybody? Mm. Because at the end of the day, you have to be able to arrive and go, brilliant. Yeah. Vinny's here today.
Yeah, well, I do. I do. I go, I won't have to move a chair. Yeah. I'll be able to see everything that's going on.
I need a chair there if you want.
Just this random chair in the middle. Like a miniature, just put it out in the middle of the grass or something. Yeah. So, no, but these are all little things that just make
Consider everybody.
This is it,
Yeah.
and it goes from being a good ceremony to a great ceremony. I think, and it
do
does.
try, you know. So
yeah.
And see, in time, then, like I said, you get an inquiry.
Yeah.
We've decided we're going to go. Not going to have a church ceremony.
Yeah. Who?
You've been to many a ceremonies.
Yeah. Who would you like?
Who stands out for you?
You'd be like, well, your man Vinny's a bit bossy.
He's a bit bossy, yeah.
But he does a great ceremony. Yeah. He does a great ceremony.
Yeah.
And then I suppose for the vows as well, like, because you can do your own vows if you want. You can write your own vows. Yeah, which is nice.
We've had people tell their partner that I promise you will never walk alone. We've had people...
Are they just from reciting lyrics?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had people, that again, you might want to stick to traditional and having to haul for richer or poorer.
Yeah. And then some people that thought of writing their own vows is terrifying.
It can be.
It's not even writing them. I think it's the more speaking them in front of everybody.
And then you're overthinking it, and then you're like, am I saying the right thing?
Yeah. Can I keep it together? Will I cry?
Is he going to throw in the right things rather than the completely wrong thing?
Yeah.
Again, that comes down to preparation too.
Yeah. And this is something you probably help people with, though, is it?
Yeah. We guide them through it. Now, we sit down and explain to them the process of how I think, not how I think vows should be done.
Okay.
Because everyone will do them differently. Yeah. But the right approach, again, familiarise yourself with what you've created. Yeah. Read over it a couple of times. Be familiar with it. I have it printed out for you on the day so you can read it there and then. But I try and avoid repeat after me. It's something I try and take myself out of.
Okay. Yeah. Better that they almost read it than repeat it, is it?
Yeah. So they, and again, if they're familiar with what they're reading and it's printed out in front of them, it's more a glance, and now it's back up and there's eye contact rather than Vinny standing in the middle of this couple that are exchanging vows to each other, and it's the most romantic moment, and then I'm standing there.
It's like their faces
making
yours.
sure no one's talking us on,
Put that in your bag.
So,
put that down. No, it's
the last
true
thing they need is me in the middle of them exchanging vows.
Yeah.
But again, now I've told them that they're publicly speaking, and so it's addressing that properly too, and talking people through it, and the percentage of them, 99% will go with you and take your experience and take your word for he knows what he's doing, or he's dealt with these situations before. He's not going to put us in a position that we're going to be uncomfortable in. Or there's always that couple that would say, irrelevant of whether you do or don't do repeat after me, I want you to do repeat after me, and that's fine. Because again, I'm helping guiding them through.
And I think some people kind of have, when you envision your wedding and you envision parts of it, like that could be one part of it that's ingrained in their mind, like that. The repeat after me. Like I see my wedding, I see that part of it, and that's fair enough. The priest does it. That's exactly it. Yeah, and I think, but when the people do their own vows, it's so emotional. We did our own vows. Oh, we did. It was so funny. We did our own vows, myself and Benny, and I
might get a tear out of you there.
I went.
I thought you were getting ready to cook.
I cried. Yeah.
He cried. I didn't.
Right,
she's hard on.
But I go first and made him cry. Yeah, because I thought it, and then but after that I made him cry and I didn't. I felt like this awful hard bitch altogether. And but then after that I saw loads of other people in the same situation. I was like, oh, it's fine. We're completely normal. But I remember.
So you do all your crying leading up to the day.
Leading up to the day.
We don't.
The bottle.
So come the day.
That's true, actually. Yeah, the emotion. It's so raw. It really is. It's amazing. And then but even little things like the first kiss. And in the first case, that is a big moment that people think when I'm getting married, you have to walking down the aisle, you got the rings in your head, you've got the first kiss in your head. But the great thing about, and again, in this moment, you're thinking about the whole picture, and you're as you're almost announcing it, you're slowly backing away so that you're... No, but it's great though, because I know what's coming, because I can see you taking steps backwards, but you're doing it so that it's, as you said, it's not like couple, your face, and they're almost kissing your cheeks. That you've backed away.
If they're standing there kissing each other, where am I looking?
Weird.
If I'm here,
very close to them. No, but it's great because it works. All the guests, and they're having a moment themselves on their own without someone standing too close to them. It's a picture perfect moment. Then it's video has it. Guests get to see it, and usually then they turn around. They're like, Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great
And
though.
I get your celebrant should be a part of your ceremony. I fully get that. Of course they should.
Well, you have to be.
Other than that, you don't have them.
No, you don't.
But at the same time, there's certain times where you have to be able to go, okay,
Yeah.
as a celebrant,
Yeah.
I don't need to be there at that moment.
Yes.
I don't need to be there at that moment.
Yeah.
I don't literally need to be standing there while they're kissing.
Yeah, it's not all about the celebrant in that moment. It really isn't.
I've learned that in
No, but it sounds silly, but it's those little things, and I find couples they tend to celebrate more when they're given that little bit of space.
Yeah.
And the moment seems to last a little bit longer.
Because again the ceremony is about them.
Yes.
It's their ceremony.
Yeah.
So if you make it about them.
Yeah.
And put them into the position that, not that they're the one I'm performing, but
but it is.
Off they go.
It's their moment. It's a big moment.
Yeah,
like
certain
you
moments.
just got married.
Walk up an aisle, the last thing you need is 100 people out with their phones on the aisle.
Yeah.
First kiss the bride, the last thing you need, or kiss your groom, the last thing you need is Vinny standing in the middle.
Don't get too close now. How much kissing are we doing?
No wheeling around here, you know. Yeah.
It's a bit creepy actually. To say it that way. It's a little creepy. It's like, no, kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, aren't you lovely? Yeah.
Where do you stand or what do you do? So
you're right. And then obviously the signing the register, like again, you're thinking because you always make sure the register is in a nice position that everyone can watch them sign the register.
Do you want one chair? Do you want two chairs?
It.
Do you want the bride standing? Do you want the groom standing?
But this is it. But signing the register, you're now signing legally that you are now married.
Officially, yeah.
So it should be in, especially so people think a lot about decor. And they might have these big flower walls or, lots of decor around. And, it's nice if you're signing the register to include the decor.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can be in a hotel space and you've decorated the hotel space and it's beautiful. But there has to be an emergency exit somewhere.
Yeah.
There has to be an emergency exit sign somewhere. And I have gone into spaces where there's been beautiful flower walls and arches and so much decor. And the registry signing table is under the emergency exit door. And you're kind of going, but I actually say this to couples beforehand. Look at the room and when you're where you're going to be sitting, what's behind you if you're not in the centre aisle, when you're signing a register, what's going on around you.
Yeah.
But you think of these things as well, which is great because I don't have to worry when I hear your name. I'm like, oh, Vinny will have the room set out, it's grand.
It is again, it's arriving on the day. Look, the venues are brilliant. Yeah. Wedding coordinators are genuinely attention to detail and I'm yet to find one that doesn't know what they're doing, but their approach is brilliant because they know today this couple's getting married, these are priority, and let's make sure everything is perfection.
Yeah.
But at the same time, just in that moment, couples, guests might be walking up the aisle, taking their seats. They've slightly made a carpet crooked. They've slightly done this. Arrive in and approach the ceremony as if, okay, when my partner has to walk up that aisle, what way would I like it?
Yeah.
If my partner was to sign that legal document.
Yeah.
Would I like her position or him position there? Try and approach it as if, again, I'm getting married on that day, and what way would I like it?
But that's great though, because not everybody has that thinking, and I love this thinking. You and me are on the same wavelength, I think, here, about Vinny. And then even for the exit, and I'm going to go away from the ceremony in a second now, but even the exit, simple things I've seen you get the bridesmaids and because the old traditional way in a church, I suppose, if you were in a church space, would be you might get the bridal party up on the altar for a photograph in the church, and then the music plays. And they all walk down the aisle and they all happen to be there. It's not the same when you've got a spiritual ceremony, something going on, because it's a different space and every space is different sizes. Yeah. But you do get the groomsmen ready, the bridesmaids ready. The bridesmaids have their flowers in their hands and they're all ready for that exit. And I know this sounds so simple, but a lot of the time it's and the newlyweds, the music cues, and they walk, and the bridesmaids are kind of they're turned around and they're picking up their bouquet and they're getting ready. And who am I walking with? Do I go now? But you're almost holding people's hands from the beginning to the end. Absolutely. In a nice way that this is what you do now. They do
because again you're arriving to a new venue that you've probably never been before. You're arriving to a spiritual ceremony that you've probably never been before. You're meeting Vinny that you've probably never met before, and it's my first time being a groomsman. It's my first time being a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Where do I stand? What do I do? Who do I talk
But
to?
it's funny when you're asked to be a bridesmaid or groomsman, you suddenly become unable to be a human being anymore, and you forget the functions of groomsmen. I've got two hands, and now I don't know what to do with these two hands all day long. Where do I put my hands? Bridesmaids, I'm holding flowers. Is it in one hand, two hands? How high? How low? And but they ask you all these questions all day long because they just suddenly become very aware of themselves, I suppose, isn't it?
It's to have that understanding of, okay, well look, again, it's an important day for them too.
Yeah.
It's a role that they're after giving them they are embracing it and they're taking
nervous.
it on, but at the same time they're probably literally just concentrating on certain things.
Yeah.
And if there's somebody there that's able to go, okay, well look, the bride and groom or the groom and groom are ready to walk down the aisle and they're going to be here. I need you to stand here. I need you to stand here. And what that does is, when the couple head back down the aisle, what I also try and do is hold the bridal party or the groom's party off completely.
Give them a minute.
Until the couple are down the aisle. Now, sometimes photographers will hold a couple at the end of the carpet, get a photograph of them kissing, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, it's the last thing you need is...
A pause.
Yeah, but also...
but a lot of people behind you,
8 or 10 bridesmaids or groomsmen, or, so try and hold them off. Again, it's trying to visualise... When I'm walking back down the aisle and the couple have their hand in the air and they're cheering, do you want a bridal party here? So hold them off and again guide them through everything and send them down one by one. And what starts to happen is the guests start to even give them a slight round of applause for.
Well, that's nice.
So hold them off as much as you can and give them their moment of, because they've already had it coming up the aisle. Yes. So give it back to them. But
that's so true though, because there's so much thought goes into walking up the aisle, and when it comes to no one thinks about coming back down the aisle. Like the amount of minuscule details you go through about walking up and then walking down is not thought about. Yeah.
The bridesmaids or groomsmaids all head back down the aisle and the groomsmen, and what happens is then you invite mums and dads down and give them their little moment.
It's important that they get out first as well, so they can actually go congratulate the couple. And as well as that, because it's good that they're held back away, because whatever venue it is, they usually have a couple of glasses of champagne or something and it's nice to give them a moment to have a bit of a cheers and have a moment between them. And then they're usually going to thank all those guests for coming. So it gives you a moment to kind of, well, this is where you're going to be, take a breath, and off you go.
Rather than all of a sudden everyone's on top of you again, and you're only out.
A herd of people behind you. But no, it's great. And I think all these things are something that not everyone thinks about. You do think about, and this is why I've got you sitting here. This is why you're here, Vinny. This is why you're here. And I suppose preparation then, before the wedding day, is quite important, because you've got your ceremony booklets. And do you help them with
I sometimes try and talk couples out of ceremony booklets, if I'm being honest.
Do you find they're a distraction?
To the guests, Again, they're arriving to something that's new. You want them paying somewhat attention. If you give them a booklet to read, they now have something to be reading while your uncle's
they're missing the moment.
Certain moments. And the percentage of the time, I'm the last person to leave that ceremony room.
Okay.
And the chances are every seat has a booklet on it or a scroll on it. That the couple have already have already spent money to print, getting the ribbons for the scrolls, putting effort into creating it, everything.
Chances are your handbag's not going to be big enough on the day to put it in anyway. And the men aren't going to have a handbag, so that's fair enough.
And the last thing you want is 4 scrolls, So it's I do sometimes talk couples out of printing. Now some are adamant. Look, again, all we're used to is church ceremonies and booklets match the church ceremony, tradition. And that's what it goes at, and that's perfectly fine. But also what it does is it gives us both more time for preparation in terms of the script and allowing for change and allowing for
it's not set in stone, I suppose, is it?
Absolutely. And then the other thing is that when we meet in time, we sit down and we go through absolutely everything for the ceremony.
And you always meet your couples if you can. Yeah, if they're in the country or
If I'm in Dublin and a couple is in Mayo, we'll probably come together and either try and meet halfway, we can't meet halfway. The beauty now is there's Skype, there's Facebook call, there's WhatsApp video call. And you can get a lot from that. We've couples in Thailand, we've couples in America, we've couples in Canada.
They're all over the world. And there's sometimes they're only flying in 2 days before the wedding. It's so close to the wedding.
So it's communication can be done over a different, all completely different ends of the scale. And what happens is, when we meet and a couple go, right, I'm doing a ceremony booklet, all that information has to be decided on now.
Yeah, that's true. Because it has to go to print and it has to
go
be
to print,
proofed.
and then all
yeah.
of a sudden it's
okay.
official, it's printed. We can't
Okay.
chop and change it.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Where
read
if
it.
I go, skip this bit,
Okay.
and then you have all of this time
Yeah. Okay.
to maybe come up with your script, but you can alter it, you can change it. You might
Okay.
see a new tradition, you might see a this, and you can add
Yeah.
it in. Different song, different
Okay.
poem.
Okay.
And it gives them more time to, it kind of opens it up to less pressure,
I like that. Yeah.
less confirmation on, oh, I signed off on the script 2 months ago.
There's no going back. There's no going back. No, but it's true though. It's
And if
very
there is,
true.
if
yeah.
there is a change or a change of somebody's name, a reader's name, a reading of somebody somewhere
Okay.
along the line that all of a sudden you thought was coming home from Australia and can't come home and their name is in the booklet and
Yeah.
just loads of different things.
Yeah,
That,
it's small things you wouldn't think of. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought of that now, to be honest. It didn't actually enter my mind. And like, I know a lot of the time, like, because when, say, we're meeting couples before their wedding as well, and they always email me and say, what do I have to have ready?
Yeah.
Is there homework?
Yeah.
Like, do I have to, how do I prepare for us to prepare when we meet? Like, is there,
you'd have
is
an
there
understanding
little
of there's
things?
some preparation now.
Like, do they have to have a certain amount ready before they meet you, or when they...
Yeah or no.
Yeah.
It's entirely up
Okay,
to the couple.
so if they come and they've like, Vinny, I haven't a clue.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah.
That's okay as well.
Yeah,
okay.
that's perfect. And,
Okay.
and to me, sometimes that can not work better.
Okay.
But again, they're coming into this blind.
Yeah,
And
and you're
there
probably open as well, a bit more open to
Yeah,
suggestion than
yeah,
aren't you? That you
yeah.
don't have like a clear view.
Tunnel vision, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Where again, like we've had the scale of couples that you literally speak to a couple of weeks before the ceremony,
Yeah.
and they're going with the flow and so forth. Or you've
They
couples,
trust you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or you've couples that also will trust you, but at the same time, here's a spreadsheet, and I want you to mark this box off, and I want you to mark that box off, and
Okay.
I want you to highlight this color, that. And
Okay.
So you
It's
always.
just personality.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it gives you the allowance to work with both,
Okay.
but you can be as prepared as you want to be and
Okay.
bring poems and readings and suggestions to the ceremony or to the meeting, or you can.
But you
come
don't have
into
to
it- come into it
stress
blind.
if you really like you've tried to think about it and you're just kind of at a bit of a loss.
Yeah.
That's what you're there to
Yeah.
help with,
Yeah.
which is good. I think it's important for people to know that as well. You don't have to worry. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You have them. You have them. And I suppose then when it comes to locations,
Yeah.
it's like since you with the spiritual sermons and everything, since this did come about in Ireland, it's opened up the possibility of so many different
Indoor, outdoor,
Oh, it's
castle,
amazing.
manor
Yeah,
house.
it really is amazing. And is there any restrictions on where you can actually get married?
Anywhere that with with spiritual ceremonies,
Yeah.
there is certain restrictions.
Okay.
And they would be anywhere looked after by the OPW.
Oh, the OPW, they love asking for insurance.
Yeah. So, because we're a religious body,
Yeah, okay.
we're not allowed to perform ceremonies in anywhere that's looked after by the OPW.
I did not know that. That's new information to me. Good to know though. Good to know. And when it comes
And
to
some of them venues are absolutely
Yeah,
stunning, and they
yeah.
are on my bucket list
Yeah.
to perform a ceremony in. but
there's a few coming to my mind straight away. And then say, if you're going outdoor,
Yeah.
do you have to be in a certain radius of a structure, or is
It
that
has to be attached to a building. It has to have
Okay.
an address.
Okay, so like if I was like, I want to get married on this cliff, it has no address. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that.
It has to be
like,
also
yeah,
accessible
okay.
to the public.
Well,
Yeah.
hiking boots
Yeah.
and a rucksack in the garage.
Yeah, I'm sailing down, you know. Yeah.
And we'll all do a bass jump at the end. Yeah. No,
has
but
to
it's,
be-
but it's good to know, because I think people see outdoor ceremonies and they might see it on a beach, but the beach is associated with the venue, I suppose, isn't it?
Or the couple have already gotten married in our registry office.
Okay.
And then can literally have whatever ceremony they
Okay.
want
Okay.
in a field.
But for it to be legally binding, there is certain
Into the
restrictions.
registry office.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's legally binding,
Yeah.
there's certain regulations and
Okay.
that you have to follow.
But the outdoor spaces, like the venues at the moment,
see,
they're
every venue now has
unbelievable.
a
They're
beautiful
unreal.
yeah.
I mean, like the one we did recently there in the summer at
Yeah.
the castle,
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
you know, it was just like it was actually a dream. It was ridiculously nice. It really was. Yeah.
And the venue itself is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
And it is a castle. However, to just take that ceremony and bring it outdoor
Yeah.
and that weather, and we're in Ireland, it's unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does add a bit more to it, but the great thing about venues now is the percentage of them are coming up with an outdoor alternative.
They are. I think they kind of have to give you that option. Like they kind of feel like they're under pressure to
Yeah.
provide that option to people. But I suppose then, like I feel sorry for people with the weather when it comes to indoor and outdoor ceremonies. But at the same time, like you're still getting married, and if the weather doesn't allow you to go outside, it happened.
See, the
It
great thing
just
again
happened.
about these
Yeah.
venues is that same venue has a beautiful ceremony room.
Yeah. That's
and
it.
that's a good, like, you're not settling out, they're just
Yeah.
bundling me into this
Yeah.
room in the corner here because I can't get married outdoor.
But I think it's good to think about, like, so if your first option was outdoor, and there's always a possibility it won't happen, you have to go indoor, you do have to plan both. It can't just be a case of,
Make sure you ask your venue, what's your plan?
and can you fit all your guests?
Yeah,
It's a big one. You go from a massive
Or
big
room only fits
lawn
40
to,
lads, sorry.
exactly.
Yeah.
The rest of them are still outside in the rain because they can't come in.
Yeah.
But no, in the windows. But these are all things, like, it's always about plan A and plan B, but when it does come to outdoor ceremonies, I suppose weather is
A lot of it is weather permitted, and again, the decision will be made 2 or 3 days before.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
even the surface.
seats
in
the grass,
Yeah.
high heels, all of that type of stuff.
Okay.
Now some venues will be on concrete and some are on,
They're terraced and okay.
but like your plan B to me isn't just you're settling for this room.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to say. You need to be just as happy with
And
both scenarios.
The great thing about venues now in Ireland is the 2 of them are the plan A.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Some places have A, B, C, or D.
Yeah.
They do. It's great because even that castle.
I was speaking to a venue there not so long ago, and they were saying, look, there's certain parts that we're hoping to have a ceremony over here in the woods, and then there's a certain part over here that's completely different. And they had 4 or 5 different options plus their indoor too.
Yeah. But it's important though, I think, that people do actually think about, because I've spoken to a few couples and they mean well, but they're kind of like, I'm getting married outside.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's happening. Then you're like,
fine,
and then brilliant. I say, okay, that's great. And if it does right now, where will we going? No. But it is good. Don't even talk about it. You'll jinx it.
Yeah.
But it's good to think about these things when it comes. The logistics
at the
of
same
it.
time, I've married couples in certain venues 2 years in a row on the 27th of December outdoor. In the exact same venue 2 years in a row.
Are you frozen?
Slightly cold.
A little bit chilly.
But we have coats.
He's probably there with a big woolly hat and a scarf around his face and a fire burning next to it. Yeah. All the guests are like, oh.
It's slightly cold, but at the same time, again, it's unique. You're outdoor in Ireland and it doesn't happen much,
That's it. And then you're not going to be out there for too long either, to be realistic about it. No. Yeah. And I suppose, because just the length of the time of the ceremonies, I suppose.
About 35 minutes. Nothing too short, nothing too long.
And it kind of depends on how much you put into it, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously the more you put in, the more readings, the more elements you do, the more music you do. It can become longer, or the less you put in. We try and never go between anything before 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
We feel.
Well, it's a little bit rushed then, isn't it?
It can be.
You're getting married.
Yeah.
Do you know, what's your hurry?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Don't be just up the aisle, say I do, and back down.
Yeah. That's it.
Because you can have a meal whenever, you can have a dance whenever, you can listen to a band really whenever.
Yeah. It'll all work in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only 30 minutes of your day.
And it might only feel like 15 because you'll know it's one of the quickest days of your life.
And I think for people on the timing of the ceremonies as well, it's important to remember that it's 30 minutes of the ceremony when it's happening.
Yeah.
You need to allow the time to get to the top of the aisle. You need to allow the time to exit back out of the ceremony and then thank all your guests, because a lot of the time we talk to couples like, it'll only be 30 minutes, so the ceremony's at 1, so at 1:30 we'll start the photo shoot, and we always go no. That's it. But it's
Plus
nice.
You're probably going to be 10 minutes late, so then it's 10 past 1.
But it's not the bride's fault or the groom's fault. The majority of the time, it's the guests. Sit down.
Go in your seat. Or someone somewhere along the line will have you late.
Something's happened.
You're stuck behind the tractor. You need to stop off and go to the toilet. You need to. There's loads.
But you always want to give an hour window. Even if it doesn't matter what
type
of.
An hour before. I always ask a couple to, when they're sending out their invitations.
Okay.
If your ceremony's at 2 p.m, put 1:30 on your invitations.
And
your couple,
especially if it's a venue that's
there
not known.
from 1:30 thinking, where are they? But at least they're in the venue. When you know when that person is walking up that aisle, that they're walking up the aisle to every single guest being there, and that there's no one brushing by them to get in ahead of them.
Well, that's it. And it's a venue where, you're going to a venue that you're in a space, there is facilities there. It's not like you're going to an obscure location where there isn't even a bathroom to get to, and now you're waiting for the but these are all things that people, I couldn't do that to the guest, but they're in a location where there's facilities for everything for them.
Just there.
There's exactly. So close that bar. We need to get them down to ceremony. But I think is there anything else when it comes to the actual ceremony that I've missed that I didn't touch on? I think we've probably talked through quite a lot of it, or that you want to let people know about before I move on.
No, not really. Just the main thing when it comes down to the important thing is if you're hoping to get married in your venue on the day, just make sure that your celebrant
Yes.
is licensed to perform legally binding ceremonies.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. If they aren't, you either have to go to the registry office beforehand and get married and have the celebrant of your choice perform your ceremony.
Okay.
Or you have a ceremony of your choice, and depending if you're not married while having this ceremony, husband, wife, bride, groom, marriage, all that wording shouldn't be in your script because you're not married.
Okay.
So
that's a good tip actually. I didn't think of that. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know
can't
why I
have
didn't
somebody as a
register.
bride and a groom, or a husband and a wife, or a wife and a
When
wife
they're-
and
when
a
they're
husband,
not.
because they're not, because they still aren't married yet. So
Okay, and it's kind of like it's a lie.
we got you.
It's such a lie. And I suppose if the people were looking at booking their celebrant, do you sometimes meet couples before they book you, or how does that work?
You can do.
Yeah.
Again, people are a lot more aware and a lot more educated in terms of their options.
Okay.
And yeah, the couples want to meet their celebrants beforehand now. They just know that it's an important role.
Yes.
We want to make sure we click with this person or not.
Yeah.
We want to meet them, get the vibe off them, or or not. And
if you're going to meet your photographer, you should probably meet yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a small role on the day,
But the good thing is, a lot of it starts to come down to where we've seen Vinny do a ceremony.
Yeah.
So we want them to do our ceremony.
And you like the way it all came together.
Yeah. We attend wedding fairs now. So when venues are putting on their own wedding fair, we attend.
Okay.
And it's not really a booking exercise, it's more an information exercise in my opinion.
But you get to have a conversation with them and you might get a good feel off them.
And then they either leave there going,
I like him. Yeah.
Or I don't.
That's fair enough.
And that's fine. I've learned that the hard way too.
But I think it's important though that you, like, just because someone else said he's great, I really liked him, doesn't mean you have to like him.
You can't be everybody's cup of tea.
This is it. Like, you watch film, I watch film, you hate it, I love it. It's the same with everything in life, and you should really go by your own gut feeling.
So we always say that, look, if you've made an inquiry and you've been given the information and you've been appointed your celebrant, don't pay a deposit.
Okay.
Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Even have a quick conversation.
That's true.
Or say, look, you've given me a 2-week window to make a deposit payment. Can we sit down and have a conversation?
Okay. And do you usually get appointed a celebrant, or can you choose your celebrant?
Again, it comes down to the couple. Again, they have a better idea of what they want now or who they want now. They are educating themselves in terms of, okay, well, look, again, I've seen Vinny do what he does. My brother had him. I don't want him, but I want spiritual ceremonies.
And they can recommend a list of other celebrants and the work.
And we're all on the web. There's 43 of us now. We're not saying swipe left or swipe right on who's on the website that you can.
You should. That would be great. That's a super idea. Quick. Copyright that straight away there. No, that's brilliant.
And you can pick and choose. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And we sometimes prefer that, being honest, even though I want to marry everybody.
Okay.
But at the same time...
Well, you can't be two places at once either. You can only do one at a time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one a day. You're not going to try and squeeze two in.
Don't be disappointed, or because the 42 others, without taking away from their own personality and how bubbly they are and their own approach and everything and their professionalism, you're still getting a spiritual ceremony.
Yeah.
You know, so you would never think, oh, I wanted Vinny, but I can't have Vinny. And
there's no other option. Of course, there's other options. Yeah.
42 other options that will give you very, very similar, if sometimes not better, than what I offer.
Okay. Yeah. Because I've met loads of you. And you're all lovely.
Yeah.
You're lovely. Yeah.
Hard to find one.
I'm going to get in trouble with the rest of them though for bringing you on and not the others. I'm going to have to we're going to do this 42
We're better than Vinny. Why aren't we here?
And this will be like, and celibate number 42. Welcome. And actually, before I kind of move away from what we're talking about now, if you were searching for, you don't know about spiritual ceremonies, you know you want that certain type of ceremony, if you were to use keywords on, say, Google or something, like what are
the
good
keyword to probably stay away from is celebrant, even though we say
because if I were looking for a celebrant, I would probably go onto Google and go celebrants Ireland or celebrants in Ireland, or or in Cork or wherever you are, kind of thing.
The great thing about spiritual ceremonies is now it's searched more on Google. It's people click on it more. So it is, again, it's
popping up and ranking, is it? Okay.
It's going up more and more. But keywords that you should look for. Legally binding. In my opinion.
Okay.
Legally binding should be the first thing you want, a legally binding ceremony.
Okay.
Then from there, then it will lead you to Celebrant.
Yeah. Because you
And-
probably be like Solemnizer. How do I spell
Yeah,
Solemnizer?
yeah. Again,
What is
whoops.
that word? Yeah.
What are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time now, the good thing about ourselves is we've built up a great reputation with our venues.
Okay. Okay.
So when I arrive to a certain venue, the castle,
Yeah.
I go, wow, okay, yeah, I want to get married there.
Okay.
Do you know someone that will marry us?
Yeah.
Here's a list of suppliers,
Yeah.
and there's who will
Okay.
perform your ceremony for you.
Yeah.
So the important thing with us is suppliers to us, venues, photographers, videographers, and that is why I keep you
But
on
it's
side, but at the
it's
same
a
time,
compliment to you that like if I'm not going to recommend someone that
Yeah.
I saw rush a ceremony or fall over ceremony.
and then me and you
or-
were there at the same time.
That's it. Like yeah.
I'm making an absolute whatever of it, and you have to spend the rest of the day with that couple after recommending me. I'm gone home, you're still there. Do you know? So yeah, absolutely, I get that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has to work that you wouldn't just go, he'll do it.
Okay. Okay. So it's what you're kind of saying with Celebrant is online searches it can work, but when it comes down to it, like other
If you're
suppliers, like your
adamant
venue,
that you want a legally binding ceremony,
Okay.
make sure your keyword is legally binding.
Okay.
And then the percentage of the time when you go to the venue and you go, I want to get married in there, that is stunning.
Okay. They will have
They have it.
recommendations for you. Okay.
Chances are we're almost every venue we should be either on the suppliers list or top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. No, but it's confident. That's
But
good.
we
Yeah.
genuinely, because we get the same we have the same relationship with couples
Okay.
that we have with venues, that we have with photographers.
Mhm.
And it comes down to, like, I think the percentage of our bookings come from recommendations.
Yeah,
Through supplier or through venue?
it makes sense because in a sense it's almost like a performance in a way, and you're going to witness
Because
it.
again, there's
Yeah,
certain venues
yeah.
that would recommend Vinny will do your ceremony for you, and
Yeah.
I will stand over him 1000%.
Yeah,
And they wouldn't have me because it's a very well known venue,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't have me in that venue if they thought,
Yeah.
I don't want him in the venue.
Well,
don't want
I
him
can be
married."
I can be quite so to recommend someone unless I'm
Yeah.
absolutely sure
Yeah.
because it's someone's going to take your word on it, and it's a big deal.
And your
it's
health,
their
and as I said,
ceremony.
you're there for the rest of the day, you know. Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah.
deal. But no, that's great. And I know like we kind of touched on public speaking earlier on, but you actually ended up doing did you do courses and everything?
I
Like,
done a public speaking course.
Okay.
Again, I found myself employed by Spiritual Ceremonies.
Okay.
I found myself now, I have to talk to 100 people.
And did you find that like
Uh,
it just took a little bit of while to get like that you really feel comfortable in that space and that
Well, the
yeah,
great thing I done that public speaking course was the best thing my wife ever got me.
really?
It genuinely was.
Fairness to the wife in
she
fairness
bought-
to her.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you come home crying after the first one? And she was like, quick love, we'll get you your course.
I know exactly what you need, you know. Yeah, but she booked me a course in Dublin City Centre.
Okay.
Went in, done the course. I didn't think I was going to get much out of it while sitting there.
Okay.
But no, it was the best.
But it's
Best
amazing
course
the
I
way
ever
even
done.
if you pick up just one or two things, the improvement it kind of could make it's amazing.
Now, a
isn't
lot
it?
of the
Yeah.
time, you're better off the more ceremonies you do. You kind of
Yeah.
not learn from your mistakes, but the more ceremonies you do, you're able to refine what you
Okay.
do.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
because it's a public
But
speaking,
yeah.
yeah,
It
I done a
stands
course
to you
and it
though
was-
because you are quite comfortable speaking. You come across that way. I don't know if inside you're
I
screaming.
used to not be. Yeah.
But no, but it
And I
comes
remember my third
across.
ceremony
Yeah.
was in front of 360 people.
Oh my god, that's a lot
Yeah.
of people. Yeah.
Yeah, so
It'd be fine.
all
I
good.
can imagine.
And it was only say 190 could fit into the ceremony room, and there was
Okay.
another room next door that the rest of the guests could fit in.
And do they have
But
like
what they were doing is
speakers?
video linking it, so there was a camera.
That's terrible.
It's very
Oh
good.
no! Get me
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
here.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
really hard. Actually, because Benny was telling me about this, and I was like, that's a brilliant thing. You do a bit of charity work.
Yeah.
This is going to show your personality.
Yeah.
Actually, if anybody hasn't got a grasp of
Yeah.
your personality, this will show it. But not just charity work, Vinny. Tell them what you do.
Well, a lot of what I do is I go to the main thing I do that I have a passion with is go to Crumlin Children's Hospital every year.
Yeah.
And I get toys donated from friends, family, random people that donate toys. We wrap them up, bring them in, dress up as superheroes. It's my opportunity to wear
That's
my pants on the
I
outside.
think that's my
Yeah.
favourite part
Yeah,
of this.
Dress
Yeah.
up as superheroes and go in as Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Go in and visit the kids and give
That's
every
amazing.
single one of them, the whole hospital,
Yeah.
a present for Christmas.
That's such a lovely, because there might be people that wouldn't give their time to do that, and they definitely wouldn't be doing it as a superhero, Vinny.
No, that's it.
It's you.
Look, come here.
So are you now taking requests that you'll perform the ceremony
No.
dressed as Superman? Give me like
No.
part of the questionnaire.
Yeah.
Tick the box if you'd like Vinny
did
to
say
be
earlier on
dressed
I don't
as
say
a
no, didn't I?
superhero. Yeah. You've just found that one
Backtracked
thing
it
you
now,
say
yeah.
no to. Yeah. Oh, there's
Well, yeah, it
somebody
is.
going to contact you going, Batman is my we're going to go on Avengers
Yeah.
themed wedding
Yeah.
and you're going to dress as. Yeah.
I have
That's
had one
brilliant,
couple
though.
actually. She was working on her partner works in a magazine store in Dublin City Centre,
Okay.
and she wanted to have a Batman cowl, so it's the of Batman underneath the table. And just before I'm about to perform the ceremony, she wanted me to lean down, grab the cowl,
Stop.
and put it on.
Are you serious?
And
Did
I
she?
fully agreed to it.
Okay.
She bottled it near the end.
Ah, she
Yeah,
didn't.
she did, unfortunately. Yeah,
That'd be so funny.
I would have loved it.
Stop. I would have
Please don't
absolutely.
book me to wear Superman
Oh,
outfits for
it's
your
gonna
wedding.
be brilliant. This is going to be a new thing. We've just created a new
superhero,
trend.
yeah.
So we've created two new things. One
Yeah.
is swipe left or swipe
Yeah.
right for your Celebrant. And the second thing is, do you want him dressed
Yeah.
as a superhero? Yes
And
or
here's
no?
your options of costumes, and if you drag it over, you can see what he looks like in each one, you know?
Just place your head
Yeah.
on all the different outfits. Oh no, I love that. Sorry, I had to bring that one up. That
Yeah.
I thought that was. I think it's great. Though it's
As
lovely.
it's
It's lovely thing to
genuinely
do.
is one of the
Yeah.
nicest feelings in the world.
I'd say it is.
You get together with a group of people, you go into the children, you give every single one of them a present, you watch them open it. It's
lovely.
It's a little moment, and like we've spoke to the coordinator in the hospital, and she's like, there's certain singers, musicians,
Okay.
famous musicians that come into this
Yeah.
hospital and they sing for the kids, and
Over the head. But they
It
don't know
could
who
be
the person
anybody.
is. They don't know who the person is. Yeah.
but the minute they see Batman
Yeah.
or Superman, or they're able to tell their dad that day, you're not going to guess who was in with me. Superman
But
was in
it's-
today.
you
and
make their
it's,
day
it's
completely.
a special thing
Yeah.
to do. It's something I do every year, and it's grown and grown every year.
It's lovely to
So-
give back, though. It is.
And
it
that's
is lovely
I
to
have
give
a bit of time on my hands,
Yeah.
which is good. And lucky enough, I haven't had to experience anything in Crumlin Hospital.
Okay.
But at the same time, going in there and into
can-
the heart
you-
unit,
yeah.
into the cancer unit, into it's
And when it's children,
Yeah.
it's just so
amazing.
difficult for people.
absolutely
But that's amazing. And I know you do some inspirational speaking as well, do you? Or am I
With
right in
spiritual
saying that?
ceremony,
With spiritual ceremonies, yeah.
Spiritual Union of Ireland.
Yeah.
Part of what we do is depending on your level of mediumship.
Okay.
Because there's different types of mediumship. So
Okay.
I find myself, as you can see, top for Ireland.
Yeah.
And
You've met the other person
Yeah.
who talks for Ireland. My voice is going to be broadcasted everywhere. Sick
And-
of listening to me.
I do like to be able to give a bit of positivity to people, and
Okay.
I do like to be able to. I'm not the wisest of people, but if I can even inspire one person, and
But it's amazing the way something so small can give someone so much
picks
inspiration.
them up, and and so what we do again in the sanctuary on a Sunday,
Okay.
there's always an inspirational speaker, and then there's always a demonstration of mediumship, and it's going to the sanctuary.
That's nice for you. That it's a community in a sense,
Yeah.
then, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose other people do the same. They give inspirational.
Now it's
if they
brilliant
want to
that
get
the same
involved.
people are there every week, but then sometimes you're standing
The
on the
newbies.
platform and everyone has already heard your inspirational speak, and you're kind of like,
How am I
"Now
going
need
to change
new
it this
material."
time? Yeah. I need
Yeah.
a new one on this.
Because at the same time, like being inspired, a lot of it is not the same thing. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
a lot
But
of
it's
the same.
how you
Yeah.
deliver that, I think, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
'cause
a lot of it
you
will
could
be.
just stand there and say the words, but if you don't mean the words, you don't deliver the words.
Yeah,
it's
you
how
have
you
to have a
deliver
great
it, isn't
understanding
it?
of it too, and you
yeah.
have to be able to be
Yeah.
be passionate of.
Yeah. You believe it yourself
Yeah,
that what you're
yeah.
saying, you really believe in this, it'll inspire somebody else. And that's great. And so weddings are an obvious thing that celebrants do, but it's not the only thing that you can do as well. Because I know, like, there's vow renewals.
Yeah.
There is naming ceremonies. For those of you out there who don't know what a naming ceremony is,
Yeah.
it's kind of like the alternative to a christening, isn't it?
It's a non-religious Christian.
Yeah, exactly. And then I like the way you call this end of life celebrations.
Yeah.
Like, because the word it's celebrating.
The minute we hear funeral,
Yeah. You're like, well, it makes you sad
It's
straight
like
away.
doom and gloom.
And
Yeah,
I'm quiet there because you said funeral and I don't know what to
Yeah,
say
yeah,
next.
yeah.
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
is what happens. We tend to,
Okay.
I have to go to this funeral, and it is a sad time, but at the same time, if this person was upbeat, happy,
Yeah.
positive, and
Yeah.
everything about it, the last thing he wants or she wants or they want is people around them
Yeah.
all sad and this and that. And also that ceremony, it has to be approached slightly similar to a marriage ceremony. It has to be fun and enjoyable, but at the same time you have to be able to,
Well, you're remembering the person, aren't you? Yeah, and celebrating
for
their
the good
life.
reasons and for positive reasons and for it's a mark of respect to that person. And
Okay, they can bring their own personality even after they're gone.
absolutely,
They're still the personality is still there. Yeah, that's nice.
And there might be again a certain poem that reminds you of that person, or a certain song that reminds you of that person, or and
there's no restrictions then, I suppose.
No.
You can just do whatever you want when it comes to music and bits and pieces.
Absolutely.
It's lovely. And the nice thing about the naming ceremonies as well is, they say you've married the couple and they have a baby. And like the old way was, your priest that would have married you then christens your children.
Yeah.
But you can do the same kind of approach.
But see, we are coming away from christens now also. What you're finding more is that because it used to be that you have to get christened, make a communion, make a confirmation to get married.
Yes.
And that was kind of the process.
Yeah.
But because now you get married without communion, christening, and confirmation, and again, you don't need to be christened to go to certain schools.
Yeah, and that was a big thing. The whole people were christening kids just to get them into school.
And if my beliefs are this, why am I putting these beliefs on my child and so forth? So
But there was no options before. It
No,
was either
and
you were
now
having
there
a christening or you were doing nothing.
And again, you can release balloons. You can again do the sand ceremony. You can bring the new kid into the sand ceremony that you've already done in your wedding with your other two kids or whatever, and you can bring it back to the name of day ceremony.
Yeah.
And add their sand in. Again, it's more a celebration, and there's that great link to I've married couples, and then further down the line, okay, we've had a kid, and we like you as a person. We want you to be the one doing the naming ceremony.
That's lovely that you're back again at the next stage of
Yeah.
their life, and you actually get to meet them further down the line and see how things are going and meet
then
the kids.
I married a couple. I done the naming ceremony for their son, and 4 years later, got an email and a phone call to ask me to come along and do their next sons.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so it was.
That's great because you get to know families then as the years go by. That's amazing. I know you've given lots of hints and tips there, but if there was one thing that you were to say to couples other than the legally binding side of things, because I think we've hammered that whole we're like, make sure it's legally binding. Is there anything else that you'd advise couples when it can be anything when it comes to...
I always say it should be the most enjoyable day of your life, not the most stressful.
Yes.
And I always say to couples, put your trust in your supplier.
Yeah.
If you can put your trust in your supplier as much as possible and allow your photographer to take their photos. Yeah. You're not looking over their shoulder going, he's blinking, she has red eyes, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're not...
Slightly different angle there.
I need you to be slightly over here, the sun is... You allow your photographer to do the photographs. Yeah. You allow your videographer to get their footage. Yeah. You allow your cake to be the perfect cake. Yeah. Just put your trust in all of these suppliers without sounding... They know what they're doing. Yeah. And they do it... Not on a daily basis, but at least 2-3 times a week, every week. Yeah. And
they've seen the good, they've seen the bad, they've seen the indifferent.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've experienced everything. And their approach isn't to make sure that it's the worst day of your life. Their approach is to make sure that it's as close to perfect as possible.
Well, it's that same thinking that you're trying to give them the best. Like, you're going to help them even be better. Yeah. Like, you want to be better and better and better for them.
You're employing these people to make sure. Yeah. This is perfect as possible.
And they're delivering that for you. Bit of happiness. Yeah. Bit of joy. Yeah, I like it.
And I had another one there. What was the other one?
You didn't. You're lying.
I had another one.
There was no other one. You'll have to come back. It's only a short drive. It's what is it, another 3 hours home?
Home.
Yeah. Hang on now, we'll get the audio going.
It'll come back to me. Yeah.
That's okay. That's alright. But Vinny, thank you for coming in.
You're more than welcome.
You're so good. We probably couldn't do this all over again. I think we probably will need to do this all over again in a couple of years because things will have changed. Yeah. They keep changing, don't they? They keep progressing.
Trends, things are done slightly differently, different approaches. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bit of everything.
Is there any trends at the moment? Or do you find with ceremonies it's not really a trend thing? It's kind of something new might be included, but it kind of tends to hang on.
I'm not really seeing...
Yeah.
See, again...
Do you think the wine box and letters, is that a trend? Or is it just something that kind of wasn't
not everybody,
really used?
It's not every... Some people think, you're putting a negative spin on... you're saying we're going to have arguments and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But you are going to have arguments.
Yeah. We're human.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird if you're not arguing in some way. Yeah.
So, it's... there's not. I don't see many
Yeah.
different trends.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone wants your selfie mirror. Everyone wants your dance floor. Everyone wants your this. Everyone wants your that. You know, but
The ceremony is a ceremony. I think on what you put in your ceremony.
yeah,
that's true.
Not at the same time. There's still a huge amount of respect and appreciation and the same approach for everybody. You know, there's still certain boxes that need to be ticked.
Okay.
So I don't see too many. Like, there's no one coming up the aisle on a horse or.
Good though.
Don't
You're giving people ideas.
Yeah.
There's going to be a superhero on a horse.
While swiping left.
While swiping left. Oh no, Vinny, that's been amazing. Thank you.
No, it's been a pleasure.
But honestly though, thank you so much for driving so far to come down and talk to us. And I think we have kind of opened up some of the questions that people have, because I see people on forums all the time and I see them asking the same question over and over and over. Hopefully we explained it clearly. I make more sense of it now.
Yeah, you have a better understanding of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is the way it should be with it. Again, you have to have an understanding of, right, what do I want from a ceremony?
Yes.
People are educating themselves a lot more now, you know?
I think so. They're putting the research in.
Yeah.
Well, Vinny, thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much for having me.